Welcome to MCSC TV. Now guys, this video is about if football should be continuing at the moment in the Premier League or not. Now here in England we are actually in our third lockdown right now. In the first lockdown, that was in March in 2020, obviously Premier League football did stop, and this time it's actually going ahead. Now obviously this is drawing up a bit of controversy because some people are saying, well, why did it stop then and why is it allowed to go ahead now? Obviously there's a lot of strict rules in place right now within the country. Obviously schools are closed and people are saying, well, why can football carry on? Now I want to discuss this with you guys today. I want to say my points of view and how I feel about the situation. I also took to Instagram, Twitter and Facebook yesterday to get all of your opinions. I've got all them included in this video as well. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about it really. It's been a video that I've been wanting to make for a few days now and I finally got round to it. So yeah, I just want to talk about it. Also guys, make sure to comment down below how you feel about the situation. Do you think it's safe to be playing football right now? Do you think it should be allowed? Or do you think it should be stopped? Now, currently, there seems to be a very, very good testing system in place within the Premier League at the moment. Also, games are getting postponed if there is positive COVID cases within teams and clubs. So it feels like the Premier League are on top of this situation and that's good, that's reassuring. And it seems to be safe. However, there is obviously still controversy surrounding the matter, even though there is a strict testing system in place and games are getting postponed. Some fans are still like, well, why is football continuing? So yes, let's get into it. So in my point of view, I feel as long as it's safe, it should go ahead. And as I said, there seems to be a very strict testing system in place. So as long as it's safe, I don't see why it shouldn't go ahead. Also, I do really feel like it is beneficial and positive for the fans, you know. I mean, it's good for our mental health. I look forward to every football game there is every week. Like, I'm so excited for it. That keeps me going. And I'd be struggling this lockdown without the football. And I'm sure other fans are in the same position. Like, well, they are, because I've been reading it in your opinions on social media that you've been sending in. Like, you guys, a lot of you guys are saying, yeah, it's positively impacting my mental health. Like, it's getting me through, you know, and I'm the same. I am, it's like, yeah, it's something to look forward to every week, isn't it? It's positively impacting my mental health. And as long as it's safe, I don't see why it shouldn't go ahead. Obviously, in the first lockdown, football probably didn't go ahead because there wasn't a testing system like there is now in place, in my opinion. And now there is a really strict testing system in place that surely makes it more safer, and that's why it's going ahead now and it didn't in the first lockdown. But yeah, so non-football fans that really aren't interested in football might feel quite negative about it and think it's one rule for us, for the public, and one rule for football. As I said, schools are closed, etc. And some people that have no interest in football might look and think, well, why is that fair? Also, I disagree with some of the situations that have been going on. Obviously, not all football players have been following the rules, which is just simply not good enough. Also, I was really disappointed to see the footage at the Marine game on Sunday night. Obviously that Marine took on Tottenham in the FA Cup. It was a massive game, really exciting. It was a massive game for the Marine fans, and fans that don't even have an interest in either team were excited. Like, I was looking forward to the game and I enjoyed it, you know, apart from obviously Tottenham winning. I was excited for Marine, you know. However, to see footage on social media of Marine fans lying in the streets, not social distancing, was just really disappointing. And I was disappointed to see that put on social media as if that behaviour is okay. Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic, everyone's got to follow the rules, and the fact that the Marine fans were just celebrating and like on the streets, not social distancing, and there was nothing done about that, was incredibly disappointing. I mean, there was security and police there and they weren't getting turned away. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Why is that okay? Why is that a rule for one and a different rule for another? That's not acceptable. Fans aren't allowed at a game for a reason, you know. And yeah, obviously they say that this virus isn't maybe as transmissible outside, but this new strain is supposed to be very transmissible. So the fact that Marine fans did that was just really disappointing, you know. and I appreciate, obviously, in Liverpool, they had a massive clampdown on the testing system, etc. But everywhere's in lockdown right now. Everywhere's got to follow the same rules. So that was just really disappointing, you know. I was gutted about that. And obviously, if you're not a football fan and you disagree that football should be going ahead, that gives you every right to be annoyed about the situation, because that behaviour is absolutely not on, you know. And as a football fan myself, I was absolutely gutted and disappointed to see that, and I was just surprised that nothing was really done about it, you know. Yeah, I won't go on about it too much because I'm really annoyed about that matter, and that's not okay. But anyways, let's get into yes, let's just quickly touch on my thoughts that I just want to quickly say. Even though football is going ahead and it seems safe to do so, I disagree with the amount of contact that's being made. I feel like that should be limited, and there's stuff that I'm seeing when I'm watching it on telly that I just disagree with massively, i.e. the managers shaking hands at the start of the game. Why do they have to do that? I appreciate that's polite, but we're in a pandemic. You're not supposed to be making contact. You're supposed to be social distancing, and the fact that the managers shake hands before the game, I appreciate there's a testing system in place, but surely the contact should be limited. That's not essential. The game of football is important. The shaking hands and stuff, don't need to do it. It's like the players all celebrating during the game. Again, I just don't feel like it's necessary. Fair enough, celebrate, but why do you have to jump on top of each other and gather in a group, you know? Again, I feel like the contact should be limited. And it's like when the game's finished, obviously the manager will go around, shake the hands of the players, etc. Why does that need to happen? Obviously some fans might say, yeah, well, fans are not allowed in the stadium, and if they don't celebrate and shake hands, it completely takes everything away. But it's good that we've still got football on telly when we're in a lockdown and that football's continuing. And I just feel like it's taking the mick a little bit, and the amount of contact that is being made, that's unnecessary in my opinion. And maybe I'm just looking into it too much, but I don't feel like you should have to shake hands, etc. And can I also just say, if a player has got COVID within a team, it doesn't necessarily mean to say that the other players are going to catch it, but you're heightening the risk if you're going to make contact. So yeah, I just completely disagree, and yeah, I feel like that should change, and I'm just shocked at what I'm seeing. I mean, you look at stuff and you think that's just so wrong. Why would you do that? Like, we're lucky to have football on, and when this unnecessary contact being made, it's quite annoying. But yeah, now let's get into your opinions, guys. So, Helena said, it depends on the measures in place with a really strict regular testing programme, yes. And yeah, I completely agree. As long as there is that strict testing programme in place, like there seems to be, obviously they do release every week how many numbers of tests is positive and etc. from the testing. Yes, I completely agree. And as I said, there seems to be that really strict regular testing system in place. Izzy said, yes, glad to have something to look forward to, but I don't agree with international games. And yeah, that's fair enough. And same, I honestly do look forward to it every week, you know, it's getting me through it. And Megan said, I don't think it should, because the amount of games being postponed is getting too much. And that's fair, that's a fair point. But then again, if there's the strict testing system in place, you know, it is a controversial matter. Everyone obviously feels differently about this. And Dylan Green said it should continue. I agree, as long as I said, there is then protocols in place. TS Chicken Fritz on Instagram said, yes, I think it gives people some sort of normality. And I agree. And even the government have said that themselves, like it does give people normality, you know. AIS Man on Instagram said, I am really sorry for pronouncing any names wrong, guys. I do apologise. I think necessary guidelines can be put in place. It's just for the players to follow those guidelines. Sorry, that comment was off Twitter actually. Yeah, I completely agree as well. The players do need to play their part. If they don't, they could be risking football stopping again. I agree, some football players clearly haven't been playing their part, which is very disappointing. Everyone should be following the rules, and yeah, I just find that really sad. Hashim said, at this time I think it's inappropriate to be playing any football. The number of people dying daily is crazy, and having to see and hear this is very disheartening. Fair point. Marvin Trey said, the health of us all is the most important. As much as I live watching football, nothing is more important than the players' health. Ian Wright Lover said, I think that people's health and safety is so important, and I would understand if the Premier League stopped. However, I feel like in lockdown we really need to watch football to make our lives brighter. Completely agree. Luke Hill said, yes, football being on is helpful for loads of people's mental health and they have testing in place. Definitely. Ryan W. Smith one said, thousands of people are dying. That's worth so much more than a game that everyone loves. And Hannah Edmondson says, yes, it has adequate testing measures for staff and players. It boosts morale at home too. Yeah, I completely agree. So as you can see from the opinions of social media that everyone sent in, that it was pretty much 50-50, I'd say. And that's fair enough, you know. As I said, it is quite a controversial matter at the moment, and we'll just have to see what happens. I can't see if they haven't stopped, unless the pandemic gets increasingly worse than it already is, I can't see them necessarily maybe stopping football, because they haven't stopped it now when there's at least 1,000 people dying per day. You know, unless it increases massively and starts to really affect football teams, I can't really see them maybe stopping it, but who knows, I might be completely wrong. But please let me know, guys, how do you feel about this? What do you think should happen? And yeah, thank you for tuning in, and please get involved in this debate. And guys, make sure to stay tuned for my Fulham and Chelsea match preview, which will be out tomorrow. Love you all, and up the Chels. Thanks.